Hi, I'm Charles West, and welcome to the Picker Circle. Today I'm going to have a brief chat with Stoo, who, as most of you know, is the one of the main men over at Music on Main. And Stu is going to talk to us today about open tunings, and in particular, I think his favorite tuning, which is probably G. And so we'll go around that for a while.
So let's begin with to produce an A. To produce a G chord, we're going to lower the other three strings to produce the same relationship. Does that make sense? D, G, D, G, B, D. So we have three Ds, two Gs, and one B. An open tuning will tell you if you're not in tune. If one of the strings is off, it's very easy to tell. One of the nice things about the open tunings is the way they resonate against each other. So that's a G chord. How's it sound so far?
Sounds good. Can you play us something?
Certainly. Something fancy, something.
Start out easy and then get fancy.
That's just a riff. And of course, Gwenda was asking about Joni Mitchell. And
That's
so
cool.
on.
Yeah.
So we're now in the key of G, and that requires three chords. On any open tuning, you can get your 4 chord by barring straight across at the 5th fret, and your 5 chord by barring straight across in the 7th fret. So those are your 3 chords. Shall we begin at the bottom and get them right?
Well, I'd love to.
Here's the note for your bass string. That should be D.
Got it.
The next one is A. It should be a G. I'm sorry.
Got it.
Okay. The next one you wouldn't have touched. Just strum across the strings.
Ah, that sounds nice.
Here's a little thing that works like. So I can't remember what that's called, but I think that if you go online and look for an Elizabeth Cotten tune called Spanish Flang Dang, you'll find something that works something like that. I can't recall just how it went.
It's gorgeous, though. It sounds great.
Do you want to hear some of that, or
I'd
what else
love
can I
to hear
tell you?
some of that, and I'm sure Gwenda would too. Yeah.
Well, there's a tune that Richard Farina wrote on the dulcimer called Dandelion River Run. that goes kind of like this. I will stop at this point and point out that you have three D strings, so you can play them together. And anything that you're doing on one of them, you can do on two. So
Ah.
Good job.
Oh, love those ones.
the harmonics work beautifully on an open chord because you can go right across the neck.
Oh, chord.
Something called Mole's Moan, written by Jeff Mulder, and I might be able to practice it out between now and whenever you want to do this live. I have a month, well, a couple of weeks
Well,
anyway.
you've got a couple of weeks. One of the things is this is just kind of the backup. The video that I create will not be any worse than what we did today.
It's one of the perils of current existence is that every time you turn around, you find you're being recorded.
Well, that makes you better.
That's just because you're talented. Be happy about that.
Hmm.
Ah, you.
It's better when it's played better, but
It's always better when it's played. There is one thing though that if you make a mistake, and Gwenda has made one or two that I've got rid of. If you make a mistake, if you just stay on time, pause, and take off again, that when I'm doing the editing, the mistake will disappear. As long as you hit the right chord a few seconds later, it'll just becomes a place that I have to scrub out of the tape, and that's not that hard to do.
I'll just practice and see if I can avoid making too many mistakes.
What I've discovered about video editing is that you can actually cover up a lot of sins.
That's very true. So that's my favorite tuning. Open D is a very common tuning as well. Dad Gad, I have never experimented with, but it's only a half tone away from an open D.
Michael Marker was at our first Pickers Circle, and he was playing in Dadgad.
I spent an evening watching a guy named David Essig, he did the entire evening going between open D and Dadgad simply by retuning his G string a half tone.
Okay.
Because the Dadgad is D A D G A D and the open D is D A D F sharp A D. This tuning was popular with some of the what do they call the American primitive guitarists, John Fahey, who educated Leo Kottke, and he did something that sounded more like this. Let's see. Sunflower River Blues.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah,
That was
it's
great.
and
So that's in B.
yeah,
Now with a digital tuner, it shouldn't take long to actually get there if you just laid it out.
that's right. I like that tuning because I heard Tom Rush play a tune. Well, he has a pair that go together. A song called "No Regrets" and an instrumental called "Rockport Sunday" that he plays together on this in this tuning. And he has one guitar that he keeps tuned this way. And it took me 15 years to learn Rockport Sunday.
Oh,
And then I discovered that I had it wrong because I had tuned it wrong. But with the advent of YouTube, I got to watch Tom play it and watch his fingers. And
That
then I
really
saw,
helps.
aha, here's he was where I was doing something like he was doing. He was playing it where I was playing. So there is that beautiful instrumental called Rockport Sunday, which I could do for someone someday. I've done it once or twice in the coffee house.
Well, I'd love to record it. I mean, and if you get it to your satisfaction, we could post it. And if you don't, we don't. And that's the way it goes here.
Sure, I'll keep working on it.
Okay.
He does this thing. Anyway,
Well, one of the things that I like about this is that we can highlight you doing a few of these things, and I think that'll just get people interested, and then some of them will follow you into the music hall, and some people won't, but that's fine. But I'm hoping that the word will get around, and we'll get more people wanting to come here and do crazy things. So that,
well, I,
that's what I'm up to.
the trouble with trying to teach this stuff is that a lot of what I do in the open tunes took me a dreadfully long time to learn. it's, but I can point people to the same sources that I used, and they can go and work for the years as well.
Well, it's not so much that you have to teach it. What I'm trying to get people to do is become interested in learning it. And if somebody wants to learn it badly enough, well, then with a few hints, they'll get to it sooner. I mean, it took me 40 years to learn to play the Barré from the Lute Suite in E minor. And that's relatively straightforward if you have the tab. You do what you really, really want to do. That's what it comes down to.
I learned a lot. I think you should tell people that they should have a notebook handy because you actually, but of course, then the beauty of this is that Charles will make a video and we can watch the.
And it's not so much that you can teach people anything. I mean, in the sense that something difficult like guitar playing, it's going to take years of practice. Like I can show you in 10 minutes how to play scales in every key, but you won't be able to do it unless you practice a whole lot. So it's a matter of you can put people down on the road, but they have to go and suffer and sweat until their fingers bleed. Because none of this is easy.
Right. Once again, and this tuning the same as the last one. You go straight across the fifth fret. You get your four chord. You go straight. And playing like ragtime progressions where you're going to play 1 6 2 5 get difficult, and those are the kind of things that guys with slides do, because they're moving very easily over this kind of thing, and they're playing. It's easy for them to go from the seventh fret to the second fret to the fifth fret and open, right? It's a little harder when you're doing it by hand. But
Do you do
tunings,
anything
of
with
course,
slides?
no, I've never done a great deal. I've never mastered that particular skill. What else can I say?
Kind of glad that you're running out of things to say in a little ways because there's a lot for somebody who's kind of new to this.
What I'd like you to do then is go about half an hour and then suggest that we break out to get into details, and keep the first half an hour to things that are going to be more performance oriented than teaching for the breakout, for when we send everybody who doesn't want to retune their guitars off to do whatever the heck it is they want to do that day. But I think that's going to work. That's going to work really well for us, I think.
You mean you want me to demonstrate for half an hour?
Well, I mean, you've been at it for an hour today.
Have I? Good Lord! So I have.
Yeah,
I better go have a beer.
time goes fast when you're having fun, and really what I'm trying to do with these videos that I make, I'm trying to get out the picture of a bunch of people having fun. Like we're all having a good time today, and if I can cut this down to the better parts, it'll work really well.
Very nice. You're promoting light, the simple enjoyment of doing.
Well, I learned to do this by sitting around in somebody's living room with a bunch of guys like Stoo, and we were all a lot older than I was. Stu probably isn't. And anyway, these guys were from Britain, and they were working on the dam up north, and they were really great musicians. So that's where I learned to play to start with.